Hello everybody, happy Sunday, it's Kevin. Yay, Kevin! Ah. Anyway, important topic today, the left's desire for gun control. And I'm going to say this right up front, two things, and to set the whole kind of video up. Number one, we have a Constitution. In that Constitution is Americans' right to have guns. The purpose for that is against an overbearing government. And to change that Constitution, you would need more than you're going to get right now. Ergo, you're not going to get rid of guns. You're not going to confiscate the guns. You're not going to go around the Constitution because, well, right now there's 5 conservatives, and that'll probably grow by 1 by the time Trump gets out of the second term. So, liberals, you need to operate within the boundaries to which you have to operate. Whining and crying that you're just not getting what you want isn't really a plan. Well, we just want to take all guns, or take this, or take that. Well, we haven't got it. I don't care about the Constitution. I just want this. It just makes sense to me. You have to operate within the bounds to which you're held to. And then, secondly, in every single one of these Democrats at some point or another has said something to the effect of they want to take all the guns away. Then they turn around, oh, we don't want to take your guns. We'll just tax your ammo so bad you can't exploit them. Or shit like that. I mean, it's hilarious. Yes, they want to take all guns. So everything they do is the incrementalism to get to taking all the guns. Same way Obamacare was designed to fail, or at least they knew it was going to fail. If they didn't, they're too damn stupid to be. I mean, costs have gone up like how much per family? The deductibles have gone up, so therefore every family now has to pay, like $20,000 more between the actual increase in the premiums and deductible than they had to before Obamacare. And we're going to cover everybody, and if they don't pay for it, you have to pay for it. And then we're going to make the companies pay for everything. If you didn't know that was going to drive price up, not down, like Obama and every Democrat said, you're a freaking moron. You have no business in trying to control the market in this country, the healthcare market or any market, because you don't have a clue what you're doing. The Democrats had no idea and have no idea of how business works, of how insurance, healthcare, or anything works. They have this liberalistic idea in their head, and as long as they get to that, everything will probably be just fine. Sorry, I went on a tangent, but Obamacare's purpose was to drive the country towards, socialized healthcare, and that's what they're trying to do now. Medicare for all. Obamacare needs fixing, so we need to do more. Well, if y'all the ones that screwed up in the first place, and y'all weren't right in the first place, what makes you think we're going to believe you now? Sorry, off on Obamacare again. But they want to chip away at gun rights until they get all of them, even if the ones don't make sense. Because Obamacare never made sense. If you listen to what they said is going to happen, or what Obamacare is going to do, everybody knew it didn't make sense. It didn't have to make sense to liberals. It was more towards their end goal, and the same thing with gun control. Can't prove that what you want to do will have any effect or do any good or whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it's kind of proving the opposite right on the fact that every time they're challenged to say, okay, but what you're proposing would have never stopped any of these mass shootings and won't stop you in the future, but it's just common sense gun control. Well, do you actually want to do any good, or you just want more gun control? Because every time you say, okay, take these laws you're proposing, what one of these mass shootings would have stopped? None of them. And yet they're crying like you're just the stupidest guy in the whole world because after this mass shooting, you won't do this. Okay, so it's like in, God, I don't remember the year, Bill Clinton had an assault weapons ban. And part of getting that assault weapons ban through Congress, because you had Republicans and Democrats, is there had to be a deal made. So Republicans, being the smart people that they were, said it's not going to do any good because look at the statistics. The statistics are how many deaths and yada 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 are actually caused by assault weapons. So they put in place kind of like a sunsetting clause to say, well, if you want this assault weapons ban, there's no such thing as an assault weapon. The weapon doesn't assault anybody. I pull the trigger. So if you want an assault weapons ban, if it does no good, if it doesn't have any effect, then it's going to be sunsetted. And Democrats, because again, you don't have to have evidence or rational thought. Oh yeah, we just know assault weapons are banned. We just know it's going to make all different worlds, so we'll agree to that. And of course, at the end of 8 years, nothing. Did no good whatsoever. We have imperial facts now. They banned assault weapons for 8 years. Goose egg, zero effect whatsoever. It sunsetted out and the law disappeared. We have empirical evidence. So if you're a liberal and you want to say, but if we just ban assault weapons, it'll stop these shootings. We have empirical evidence. You show me evidence where if you do an assault weapons ban that it will help because we've done an assault weapons ban, then I'll believe you. That evidence in there, or else it wouldn't have sunsetted, you idiots. But it just makes sense. Okay, it made sense to you then and you were wrong. So the same argument isn't going to work now. Yes, I know it doesn't make sense to liberals about how guns work in a society. There's a shocker for you. Anyway, so the empirical evidence kind of goes against it. Zero good was done at 8 years that we actually had an assault weapons ban, but yet they're crying for it. Assault weapons account for 0.4 or 0.6% of all deaths in America by guns, including hunting accidents, suicides, and all that. It causes less deaths are caused by assault weapons than any other gun, but that's the one they're focusing on. Where does that make sense? We want to take the least dangerous gun and say it's the worst gun and it's more dangerous than others. If it was more dangerous, it would kill more people, you fucking idiots. Anyway, sorry for going off, and I dropped an F-bomb because they're fucking idiots. Anyway, so the whole point of America having guns was to protect herself against an overbearing government. And the Democrats have become full-fledged fascist. Any liberal government has become fascist because, to an extent, because people won't buy liberalism. It won't buy socialism. And the newest one, and here's what gets me. You know, I can go through all these examples and go through my other videos if you want to. They're in there. I've called the Democrats fascists many times and given examples. In our society, we protect ourselves against an overbearing government. One of the things that a free society doesn't do is doesn't make laws. The government doesn't make laws to go after or against one individual person. And that's exactly, the Democrats didn't win elections. They didn't like the outcome of the 2016 elections. A lot of states are passing laws specifically against Donald Trump. We want his tax returns because we just know there's something bad in there. So if we're going to make a law, if he doesn't give us those tax returns, he can't be on the ballot. Well, that's going to be illegal because I think it's in the Constitution, somebody said, one of these nice TV lawyers. You can't make a law to go after one specific person. And they thought, well, we won't let anybody on that, but you come out as immediately after the law's bad, we're going to get Donald Trump because we made him where he won't be on Trump unless he gives our tax returns. You're going after one person, everybody knows it, and that's fascist. The government isn't overbearing in America. They don't do that. That's fascism, which is why, if I heard correctly, I'm not going to attest to it, that yes, that's unconstitutional. And it's unconstitutional that the individual states do, to an extent, get to set a lot about elections because that's the way our republic is formed. But the certain specifics of that, of what the qualifications are to run, are in the Constitution. The U.S. Constitution, not your state's Constitution. You damn fascist. So it's going to get knocked down. Or, what I say is, the conservative states ought to start making all kind of crazy stuff that liberals, you know, if you voted for some liberal thing, you can't be on a ballot. it's the same thing. You're just specifically trying to keep somebody off the ballot. Do the same thing for the conservatives. Because I tell you one thing, there are some conservative states and they have conservative governorships that sometimes go liberal and go Democrat on the national election, that we know Trump isn't getting California, but Wisconsin, Ohio will hurt the hell out of the Democrats. We can get you harder than you can hit us on that one, you dumb people. So, yeah, go for it. We can play that game too if we really wanted to, but we're not fascists like you are. So, yes, I need my guns to protect myself against Democrats at this point. They're becoming fascists. There's a lot of things, and especially, you look now, it's coming out about Miss Sue and all the stuff that Trump was spied on by Obama, who also used the IRS to silence conservative Tea Party groups during an election. He spied on journalists who were putting out things he didn't like and put two of them in jail. Obama was a fascist. The fascist liberals are now trying to change laws to make sure they get elected. And if you don't think, for an instance, that they wouldn't, if they had complete power, they wouldn't keep changing laws to make sure they stayed in power, you're ignorant. This proves it. They're doing it now just to try and make sure they get power. Do away with the electoral college. Do anything we can to make sure that liberals get elected. That should scare the living shit out of every American in this country. And if you're a liberal and you think that, well, it's okay as long as we get what we want, you're a fascist. Just like all these fascist liberals, because doing that is fascism. That's what overbearing fascist dictatorships do. And you are why I need my gun. You'll never get a constitutional amendment to change that Second Amendment. We have a 5-4 majority. There's your specifics. You have to live within them if you want to make laws.